What is going on, y'all? On Warren Cars back again with another car buying guide. This is the third one this week. We're on a roll. Today we are going to do the 997 Carrera 4S. So this is going to be the 997.1 and .2 generations of the 4S. It was they were produced around 2004 to around 2013. However, those years are kind of confusing, especially here in America. In Europe, it says 2004 is when they switched from 996 to 997. But in America, you can find the 2005 model that is still a 996, and it really doesn't switch over till 2006 to 997. The 4S is, in my opinion, is one of the best looking Carrera models. You get the wide body from the turbo. You also get the S variant of the engine, which in this case is a 3.8 versus a 3.6. You also get four-wheel drive, but in my opinion, the parts that make the 4S the best are the wide body and the light bar in the back. However, the 997 light bar leaves a lot to be desired. The 997.1 didn't even have a light bar, which goes against the complete ethos of a 4S. All 4Ss have a light bar. And the 997.2, which you can see right here, the light bar isn't as clean as what I would like it to be. For example, let's look at the 996 4S, which in my opinion looks a little bit better. However, I didn't go over it simply because the 997 is important for reasons I will mention in a second. But look at this 996 4S. Look how the rear light is one clean light bar. Very reminiscent of the 993. Yeah, they look so good, especially because they got rid of the yellow part of the lights. It's just a little light as opposed to being the entire housing. 996 looks really good as well, but we're focusing on the 997 today because the 997 is simply a better car than the 996. Let's go back here. Yep, so 997. The differences for the 997.1 and 997.2 are pretty big. 997 is when they switch from the old engine to the new engine. So basically the 997.2 is a direct injection engine, and the 997.1 is that old the old engine with the IMS bearing failure. Also with the 997.2 was the introduction of the PDK transmission, something Porsche is very famous for, and is one of the best transmissions on the market. The PDK, this obviously is the earliest model with the PDK, so it still has a little bit of the, some PDK issues can be found on this specific 997.2 model, and they fixed it with the 991, which is the next one after the 997. Don't ask me why they named them the way they do. I'm not sure why they went from 996 or 993 to 996 to 997 to 991 to 992. So after 992, are they going to go 994? I don't know. 995. I'm not too sure if those chassis codes are taken already. So before we get on to the features, options, and problems, some announcements. It's Wednesday, third day this week of doing lives every day this week. It's going pretty well. I think that I'm going to keep continuing the schedule. Still trying to film some of those pre-recorded videos for y'all. Doing the Lexus LS430 review, as well as some interior modification videos. I'm going to be redoing my V-line. So basically my Grom, I'm redoing the wiring because I want the box to be more hidden. And so I thought that would be a good opportunity to show you guys how the whole system works and how great it is, because it really it allows me to have CarPlay in my LS430, which is a 20-year-old car. What else? Go follow my Instagrams, are all in the description, or yeah, the description below. Follow Alternate Reality Autos, follow Anwar.Ali Bujang, follow the Anwar Martin, follow Anwar and Cars on Instagram. What else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, let's get into the features, options, and problems for the 997. Oh man, what's up? Let's see. Yeah, put that there. Get that open. And then get this picture. That's good enough. Cool. So the features. So as I mentioned before, we'll just kind of rehash what I said earlier. So we have the 997.1, which technically ran from 2004 to 2008, even though here in America, I can't really find any 997 4Ss specifically that are less than, or that are earlier than 2006. Even a 2005 model, I found several 2005 model 4Ss, and those are 996 models. They're not 997s. The 997.2 generation goes from 2009 to 2013 technically, but again, it's weird. I've seen some 2013 4S models that are 991s. So technically this should be, for what we're looking at today, 2006, 2008, and this should be 2009 to 2012. Yeah. So what's so special about the 997, as I mentioned before, it is the end of a generation and the beginning of a new one. The engine, basically the whole engine design completely changed from point 1 to point 2. It is now direct injected, which allows the car to be able to make more power, also allows for better throttle response. The only problem is it kind of introduces a new reliability issue with direct injected engines, and it has carbon buildup. It is available in a coupe, the cabriolet, I can't spell apparently, and the Targa. The S models over the standard Carrera, as I mentioned, have the 3.8 liter over the 3.6, and 997.2 used direct injection. 997.1 had the IMS bearing issue. We're going to look at the power numbers. I forgot to write them down, but they're right here. So this is for the 997.1. We have 3.8 liter making 355 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. So that's going to be the 997.1. And the 0.2, we have right here 380 horsepower and obviously a bump in torque as well. But you can see it went up about 30 horsepower. Yeah, the 997.1 is said to be a much more raw experience. It's simply the last of the old school Porsches, technically. It's not last of the air-cooled, obviously, but it's last of the Metzger engine. And so that's why the sorry, give me 1 second. I don't know. I need to make sure that my facts are right. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just looking up what engine the Metzger was in, just to be sure. Metzger engine. Because I've heard that the Metzger engine is what causes the IMS bearing issue, but I'm not too sure if the Metzger engine is just in the GT cars. You guys can let me know down in the description. It seems like it's only in the Turbo and GT3. But what I was trying to say earlier is that the 997.1 is the most raw experience in terms of, between the two. The engine sound is also a lot better from the old style engine. And with the new style engine, it's said to not sound as good. However, you do have a lot of interior and technology upgrades for the later version of the car. Going back to, where is that at? Right here. Yeah, so let's go look at the options. If you guys are familiar with Porsches, there are a ton of options you can get. It's mostly a la carte on top of all the different models they make. So, they made the Carrera S. They made the Carrera S, the Carrera 4S, the Carrera 4, the Carrera Targa, the Carrera T, the Carrera Turbo, Turbo S, 993, or GT3, GT2. It made a ton of different cars. You also have the GTS, you have Targa GTS, you have Targa 4S, you have GTS 4, you have a bunch of different things. So many different trims, so many different models. but I'm just going to go over some of the options that are pretty much necessary for the 997 model and stuff we'll be looking for in the ads later. So you definitely want to get Sport Chrono. This is going to be a suspension and power package that you want to get. It makes the car a lot more performance oriented, and it also has that cool clock timer thing that sits in the middle of the dash that everyone loves. You also want to get adaptive sport seats. These are the seats that everyone says are the most comfortable and the best. You want to make sure that you try to find one with the PASM Sport Suspension package. It's an upgrade and it comes with the LSD. Very desirable package. You want to make sure that you get full leather. Full leather is always going to be better because it's just a higher quality interior. The sport steering wheel is also something I recommend you try to find. This one will have actual paddle shifters. This is for PDK and Tiptronic cars specifically. They'll have paddle shifters. A normal steering wheel will have shifting buttons. They're really not that desirable. Make sure you find one with the paddle shifters, and it will be really clean looking. It's a 3-spoke design. It's not going to have a lot of buttons on the wheel either. You want to try to find one with sports exhaust. Sounds really good. Porsche carbon ceramic brakes are always an option too. You just got to realize that these are going to be really expensive to maintain. However, they will call for a higher price when reselling. You want to try to find one with the Bose sound system. Most of them had the Bose sound system. So that's good. Also for the 997.1, you want to try to find one with the xenon lights. These are going to be better than the standard lights. Some other options. Self-dimming mirrors are pretty much something that you need to have. If it doesn't have self-dimming mirrors, it's probably a really low spec car. You want to try to find one with nav. Again, most of these cars had nav, but some of the low specs don't have nav. And then if you listen to your iPod and you have a 997.1, you definitely want to get the audio interface for the iPod. I'm pretty sure that it comes with an old style connector, but you can always get some adapters. But you want to make sure you get the most upgraded infotainment system you can, simply because if you're going to be using it, frequently, you want to be able to use your phone or your music on your phone at least. Let's see. Let's look at some of the packages and the options that were available for the 997. This is going to be the first generation model, 997.1. See, this is the wheel you don't want to get. But let's scroll down to the options themselves, because there are a ton. And we're not going to obviously be able to get through them all, but we're going to at least look at some of the options they have. Goodness gracious, where is they at? Come on. Almost there. Here we go. So you can see the colors. 4 different colors for the top. We have solid exterior colors, metallic exterior colors, special exterior colors. You can read them. Pretty cool colors. They have all sorts. They got greens, reds, yellows, blues, blacks, grays. These are the interior colors. Again, a lot. We have leatherette and leather. You can actually get, it's pretty cool, you can get the roof lining completely different than the rest. It's amazing the colors that you're able to get with Porsches. And now we have the options. So here's what I'm talking about. The Bi-Xenon lighting system is what you want to get. Deletion of model designation. I don't know why you want to get that. Park assist, air kit cup, side skirts painted. So this is the power kit. Basically, you get an upgrade to 381 horsepower for the 997.1. Very rare though. Only 50 models were actually shipped to the US with this power kit, this X51 power kit. As you can see, Tiptronic was an option. And Porsche carbon ceramic brakes. This is the PASM. You get a 10mm ride height lowering. Sports suspension package. Oh, 20 minutes lower. Interesting that these are 2 different packages. W. What does W mean? WB is a no-cost option. Oh, wow. So you can get the sports suspension package at a no-cost option with the LSD. Interesting. These are all the wheels you can get. These Carrera S wheels are pretty desirable. These are like the claw wheels. I don't know what they're called, like crab claw wheels or whatever. Wow, you can get 5mm spacers added from the factory. That's pretty cool. Sports exhaust system you definitely want to get. You want to get the sport chrono and sport exhaust. You can also get a short shifter as well. That's pretty interesting. I'm telling you, Porsche does everything when it comes to customization. One of the most customizable cars. Instrument dials and interior color. Wow, that's pretty cool too. Electrically adjustable seats, fire extinguisher performance. So you want to get the 3-spoke sport steering wheel. That's what you should definitely get. You know, this, you can see it right here when compared to this wheel. Interior leather. Definitely get extended trim package. The doors in leather. You want to get all these in leather. As much leather as possible on these cars, guys. So the wood, you can get carbon interiors as well. Yeah, this 3-spoke carbon wheel would be ideal to have. You can get the nav, that's what I'm saying. You try to get one with nav, extended nav. The Bose surround sound system you definitely want to get. They also have interiors in stainless steel. But yeah, those kind of go over the options you want to get. You want to get the most sporty options. You want to get the most luxurious options. Kind of combine the two to make the best car. But yeah, it doesn't really show the seats. I was trying to find the sport adjustable seats or whatever they recommended to have, but I don't really see them. Electrically adjustable seats. Oh, sport seats. Adaptive sport seats. Here. These are the options that you should get. Adaptive sport seats. Yep. Let's see what they look like actually, because I'm a little confused myself. 997 adaptive sport seats. Okay. So they kind of look like this. Adaptive sport. Yeah, they look like this. So keep that in mind, y'all. Adaptive sport seats when we're looking for these cars. And then finally, let's move on to the problems. Oh, what's going on, y'all? We got 2 viewers in the chat. Good morning, good morning. Hope y'all having a great Wednesday. Okay, let's see. So, we got a few problems. It's a Porsche, there's not going to be too many. So most of the problems actually are going to be with the 997.1. This is why they are a lot cheaper than the 997.2. So for the 997.1, you want to check, especially, this is actually can go for 997.1s and 2s. You want to make sure, and this is for manual specifically, you want to make sure that the car has not suffered from a lot of over revving. You can check your ECU for the amount of times the car has been over revved and how much, like basically how long the car has been over revving for. You have IMS bearing issues on the 997.1. You also have bore scoring issues on the 997.1. Basically, with the IMS bearing, you want to make sure you have no leaks, obviously, from the main bearing, like the rear main seal area. You also want to make sure that basically you don't want any leaks in the bottom of the car coming from anywhere where near the crankshaft. Honestly, that's where you're gonna have the most problems. The bore scoring issue is a thing to do with the cylinder liners. Basically what happens is the cylinder liners get scored and oil basically causes oil blow by, and then on startup you have a puff of oil smoke from the exhaust. This is a sign that your cylinder lining is beginning to become scored. So just look out for smoke on startup, and if it's smoking while you're driving it regularly, that's also a sign that you have problems. Cracked coil packs will lead to misfires, obviously. If your car is running rough, you want to make sure that the coil packs as well as the spark plugs are good. Faulty alternator cables, these are just seen to like, how do I say this? Like the connection isn't too good to become corroded. Whatnot. You want to make sure that the alternator cables are connected, or else your car won't charge. And then we have damaged radiators. The radiators up in the front of the car can be damaged, causing cooling issues, causing leaks. You really don't want any of those problems. So with that in mind, let's get to the features or the ads themselves. Okay, cool. Moving on to the ads. We have, let's see. Oh, that's my Spotify. Cool, cool. All right. Okay, first here we have a cabriolet, so a convertible, 2006 911 Carrera 4S, exceptional condition, inside and out. Original sticker was 120. GT silver metallic black full leather, so that's good. You have the Tiptronic S, self-dimming mirrors, heated front seats, sport steering wheel, upgraded from the original 3-spoke, good. Sport chrono, good. Bose, good. Supple leather front and rear, power seat package, sport exhaust system, Carrera sport wheels, Porsche Crescent headrest, front end bumper, no paint, or wrapped in clear. Okay, so this car is actually pretty mechanically sound and it has all the right options. It is a cabriolet, so I don't know if it's for me, but it is pretty well spec'd and looks like a pretty good example of the car. The guy definitely knows what he's talking about in his description. Let's take a look at this car. Very nice. Has the adaptive seats, as you can see. Look very comfortable. It is a Tiptronic though. That's going to be a thing with these 997.1s. They're not going to be PDK. They're going to be Tiptronic. So they're going to be simply an automatic car. They're not going to be as sporty. Yeah, yep. And man, he wants 38.9 for this car. These cars are kind of expensive. But it is a cabriolet. The cabriolets are the least desirable. I'd say that with 83,000 miles, I'm at around 33 for this car. Even though it is pretty well spec'd, it is a cabriolet and it is a 997.1 with 83,000 miles. 33 grand is where I'm at. Here we have a 997.2. As you can tell by the light bar here, this ad, the pictures are really bad. I'm not sure if it's even a real ad, but we'll consider a real ad for the sake of this exercise. It says automatic transmission, but it is a 997.2, so it will have the PDK. 7-speed PDK. Yeah, basically a dealer ad. Black on black car. Spec is pretty nice. It is a 997.2, so it's going to be pretty upgraded. These wheels are also nice. I believe these are turbo wheels. The pictures are really bad, so it's kind of hard for me to see details. But 55,000 is what they're asking for this car. It's 09, so it is a facelift or a 0.2, so it has the PDK. It has a bunch of other upgrades as well. It's going to be more reliable, but for 55 is way too high for me for this one. 67,000 miles getting up there. I'd say for this, I'll be around 47, 48, simply because it is a 997.2, but 47, 48. Here we have a 997.1. This is a Targa 4S though. These are a little bit more desirable than the regular coupes. The roof actuation is actually pretty cool to watch. No pictures on here though, but if you can tell, it has one big glass roof. This part from the middle actually moves underneath this, so it slides down. This part on top slides underneath this black part right here. Looks pretty cool. You can tell the interior spec. It is black. We have the standard wheel with the claw rims. Not too much of a description, but it is a Targa. The Targas go for a little bit more. This has low miles, manual transmission. This is going to be something that people want. So I'd say for this, I'd be willing to pay up to 49 or 50, simply because it is a Targa. Although it is a 997.1, you will have some of those problems. It is a manual transmission, so it makes it a little bit more desirable than the Tiptronic. So 50 is where I'm at for this one. Here we have a white example with some cool livery on the side. This is going to be a 997.2. As you can tell, it's a 2012 model year, but also it has the reflector bar in the middle. White car, black wheels. We have this interior. It doesn't look like It doesn't look like the softest leather. I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't look like the most supple leather. I don't know what material they're using here, but the seats do look like the sport seats. As you can see, this is a 992 or 997.2, so it says direct fuel injection. Comes with some accessories, as you can tell. It has the bag. It has some other stuff. Let's see. I keep getting messages during this stream. Okay. Anyway, 997.2. They want 62.9 for this car, 51,000 miles. So the mileage isn't even that low, but it is a clean example. The spec isn't too special. It does have the Bose system. It has Sport Chrono. Does it say anything? Has a Bluetooth upgrade. Yeah, I mean, all that matters is that we can see right now, Sport Chrono and its PDK. So it's going to be a good driving car, no doubt about that. But for 62, that's a little high, man. I'd say like for something like this, I mean, I'd be willing to pay up to around 55, 54, 55 for something like this. The mileage is a little bit high. It's over the 50,000 mile mark, so it's getting up there. Especially for a 997.2. It also has a sport exhaust, which is good. Yeah, 54, 55 is where I'm at for something like this. That'd be a pretty good deal for this car. Here we have another 997.2 with some cool aftermarket wheels. It looks like, I'm not sure, to be honest. Let's see what this thing says. It has the Carrera Sport wheels, not aftermarket. Excuse me, y'all. I made a mistake. Okay, 997.2. Low miles, 27,000 miles. It has the adaptive sport seats, infotainment package, sport exhaust, PDK, sports chrono package plus, Bose surround set. So basically it has everything that we talked about earlier. It's a 997.2. Really nice in my opinion. This one looks cool with these wheels. They fit the car perfectly. This one has the 3-spoke sport steering wheel. As you can see, it has the paddle shifters and it has no buttons. Adaptive sport seats, as you can see how this material differs from this material. This one looks so much softer, but very clean car. Doesn't even say 4S, it just says 911. That's pretty cool. Sleeper spec. Has some aftermarket exhaust too. Very nice car. They want $79,000 for this car though. I'd say for this being a perfect spec car, I think 63 is probably the best I could do for this car. Yeah, man, 79 is a lot for something like this. This is a 2011 4S. It's not a turbo. It's not a GT car. It's not even manual. You know, it's PDK. This is going to be the first version of the PDK, so there are going to be problems, obviously, with the first version of anything. You want to keep that in mind. But for a car like this, super well spec'd, very nice. I'm at 62, 63. So moving on to Auto Trader, we have our first example, a 2007 997.1 with 103,000 miles. They want 42 grand for it. It's a lot of money. It is a manual car though. As you can see, the seats look very worn. 100,000 miles. Has some paint protection on the sides. Red calipers, manual car. White on black is always going to be a good spec for resale, but for 100,000 miles, this is way too expensive for me. I'd say I would be in the low 30s for something like this. It is a manual. Yeah, I'd be in around 33, simply because it's manual. If it was an automatic, it would be like 27, 28. Here we have a black example, 2009, so it's a 997.2. Did we already look at this example? We did. So this is actually where the pictures were from. We already looked at this example. We'll just look at it one more time. My phone is going off today. Yeah, we already looked at this one. As you can tell, this leather looks a lot softer than some of the other leathers we saw. This is something you want to get. These are the adaptive sport seats with the soft leather. Looks amazing. But as I mentioned before, we already did this ad, so we're going to move on. Here we have one that looks similar to one we did. It looks similar to this one. How many miles does this one have? Is it 2012? What is this? It's a 2008, so it's not the same car. This is going to be a pre or 997.1 car. Has a soft leather though, as you can tell. Hold on. I gotta find this because these are the nice seats. I gotta familiarize myself with these seats. Where are they at? Okay, so these are the nice seats. They look like this. These are the same nice seats. Okay, just making sure, just making sure. So, the sport adaptive seats. Again, it is a automatic car. So, I don't know why they're asking 49 grand for this thing. What's wrong? What's 49 grand? It's a 08 with 60,000 miles. I'd say for this car, this thing is probably worth, in all honesty, like 30, like literally like 32, 33 grand in my opinion. I'm not sure why they're asking 50 grand. Like, what has been done to this car? It's literally a Chat GPT description right here. Yeah, 32, 33 is where I'm at for this car. I don't know what they're smoking. Here we have a Cabriolet 992 4S with 45,000 miles. They want $71,000 for this car. These prices are getting crazy, yo. I don't know what's going on here. It has a standard leather interior. It has a 6-speed, so it has that going for it. Original MSRP was 118K. Wow. It's like they're down 50K almost 15 years later. I'm expecting like down 80%. We're not even down 50%. Yeah, so as you can see, those 4S's hold their value pretty well, which is why I think they should be looked at in terms of collector and in terms of going down and in basically going down in history. Also, these 997.2s are some of the last cars to be available naturally aspirated, which is also something to keep in mind. But $71,000, I'm not understanding the prices here. I said this, I'd be willing to pay 65, 63, 60, something close to that. And it's a 2011. Here we have a 2010. Yeah, it's a Cabriolet. I'd be around 60 for this car. 60 flat. It is a manual, so maybe 61, but it's a Cabriolet. I'd be only willing to pay 61 for this car. Here we have our last Auto Trader example. They want $96,000 for this car. Granted, it is a nice spec. It is a 4S with these cool wheels. In black on black, guys. Let's see. Come on, let's get to the interior. Let's see what we got. Bose system. Manual car, sport adaptive seats, but it has the perforated leather. It has the crests on the headrests, but the manual is what we're mainly looking at. It doesn't have the sport steering wheel, as you can tell by the buttons. Has sport chrono though, but it doesn't. It looks like it doesn't have the full leather interior either. Not the most spec car, which is why I'm trying to figure out why they're asking for this much. So it has sport chrono, it has Bose, it has the PASM, it has self-dimming mirrors, it has a heated seat, it has turbo 2 wheels, bi-xenon lights, it has nav. I mean, it really has everything but a good leather package. So it has a little bit going for it. However, this price is insane. 30,000 miles, 29,000 miles, or want 96 grand. I'm literally in the I'm literally like high 60s, probably like 66, 67. I understand that the 997.2 is one of the last model years to have the manual transmission for the turbo, but this isn't a turbo. So I'm not sure why these prices are so high. Maybe 997.2 manuals are rare or something, but they're not worth this at all, in my opinion. Okay, moving on to Car Gurus, the final place. Here we have a clean example. Silver car, black interior, automatic, with the sports adaptive seats. Standard steering wheel though, has sport chrono with the lobster claw or whatever wheels. I like these wheels. Yeah, pretty standard car, nothing too special here. The rear tire looks like it doesn't really fit. Looks a little wide. Yeah, these rear tires are huge. Holy crap. Yeah, so I did something there. But they want 47.5 for this car. It has 72,000 miles. And it is an automatic. Like, come on, y'all. What are we doing here? This is like a $30,000 car all day, in my opinion. I don't know where these, like, what, like, this is asking 38. Why is this one asking 47? I don't get it, y'all. These Porsche people are crazy. You Porsche guys are insane. Yeah, that's it. For 33, 32 is what I'm at. I'm starting to think maybe I might be insane for lowballing the crap out of all these cars, but just the value, in my opinion, is not there. 49, we have a 2007 Cabriolet model, tan interior, manual, a little bit more desirable. We have, it looks like the full leather, or at least the extended leather, because you can see it on the door panels. Nice brown interior. I mean, it could either go two ways. This could either look pretty cool in terms of resale, or it could be very old manny. I think it looks all right. It has this wheel, and it is a manual, as I mentioned before. It has aftermarket infotainment system. Yeah, 43,000 miles. They want 50 grand. I mean, they're a little bit closer because the mileage is a little bit less. I think for something like this, I'd be willing to pay like 38, simply because it's under that 50 grand mark. So 38 grand is where I'm at for something like this. But I'm not a big fan of the cabriolets. I don't think they look very good with the top up or down, in my opinion. Here we have a red example with a tan interior, pretty cool. I guess this is a version of a sport wheel, going back to the last example, because it has no buttons. But as you can see, this example also looks kind of similar, but it has buttons. Red car. This is going to be a 997.2 updated, and they're asking 56,000. It didn't say it is a PDK car. 56.5 for 2009, so it's not the newest 997.2. It has kind of high miles. I'd be around the 47 grand mark for this. I don't think it's worth in the 50s, especially being over 60,000 miles and the first model year of the PDK. I'm at 47 for this car. Moving on, we have a 997.2 example. Black car with a black interior. It does have that perforated leather. Let's see. Doesn't have full leather package either. So it has a cheaper leather option. It has a sport wheel though, which is good. They want 67.9, so 68 grand for this car. It has 59,000 miles. I mean, you know, they're pretty on par with the rest of the ads, but not for me. For this, it's a coupe, so that has something going for it. Coupes are always going to be desirable. These are the options. So it's base, sport exhaust. It has dual clutch, turbo 2 wheels, the Bluetooth interface, sport chrono, black leather, comfort package, infotainment. So it has some options. It doesn't have full leather, but it has at least the sport options. I'd be willing to pay it is a PDK and is, yeah, I'd be willing to pay 59 for it. 59 is kind of where I'm at for something like this. It has higher miles, so 59 would be the max. And then finally, our final ad, we have a 2011 beautiful Targa 4S. Blue exterior, brown interior, full leather, leather everywhere. It is a Targa as well. This car, like, this kind of demonstrates the Targa action, in case you don't completely understand it. So you can see that the roof panel above the driver slides underneath the roof panel for the passengers. I'm not sure how that affects headroom for the passengers. I'm sure it does, but people don't really ride in the back of the Carrera. I mean, of the back of the 911 anyway. Here we have the sport wheel as well. This is such a beautiful spec. This is something that I would love to have myself. Even though it is PDK and not manual, it is still highly desirable. This is a beautiful car. It has the perforated leather. This blue is gorgeous. This brown is amazing. I don't know why, but switching between these two perspectives makes the car look very strange. That rear view is not doing it. It kicks up way too high right here. This looks strange to me. Whatever. 100 grand for this car. It only has 15,000 miles. Super low example. This is definitely a collector car. I mean, for what it is, 25% off, I'd be in it for 75. I think that would be really cool to have for 75, and I don't think you lose much money if you didn't drive it, obviously. But this spec is gorgeous. One of the best specs I've seen today. But that wraps up the ad portion of this video. Again, y'all, when you're looking for these cars, you want to make sure that you understand what you're getting in terms of 997.1, 997.2. The 997.1 is going to be a completely different powertrain than 997.2. It's going to be more old school technology, and the 997.2 is what brings in the new school. Direct injection with 997.2, 997.1 had the IMS bearing issue. 997.1 also is going to have the Tiptronic as opposed to the PDK if you choose to get an automatic car. Both options do have the 6-speed manual though. The Tiptronic is going to be probably the least desirable transmission out of the three. The manual obviously is going to be the most desirable because it's the rarest, and the PDK is going to be the one that it's going to be the most convenient for everyone. You can look at the Targa, but I recommend just looking at the coupes and cabriolets. The Targas are always going to command a premium because they're much rarer, and they just, you know, the technology, the rareness, everything. They're just harder to come by. I will go over the 996 eventually because I do believe the 996 is a better value than this car because these cars are kind of expensive, especially the 9.2 and 97.2, because they're technically in the modern era. The 997.1 is technically in the 996 era, which is a little bit older. And I do actually like the way the 996 Carrera looks when compared to the 997. But the 997 is simply just a better car all around. What am I going to do tomorrow? Tomorrow, let me get this sheet actually. Let's see what's on the schedule. Let's see. 997 Carrera we did today. Well, I have a few that I want to do. I'm debating. I think I'm going to do the F06 M6 tomorrow, so the twin turbo V8 M6. So yeah, we'll do that. The F06 M6 4.4 liter. One of the best cars BMW has made. One of the best values, I should say. And a lot of people sleep on that car, but we'll go over it tomorrow. That concludes this session, this class, this pod class on how to, you know, get your best deal in the 997. I mentioned everything before. Don't forget to, oh yeah, I always forget this. Join my Discord. It's where I put all the information. all the information that I have to do with these cars. I put, let's see, I'll just show you guys. So basically this is my notes. I'm going to finish adding the Auto Trader and Car Gurus links, but I also add the links for some of the brochures that I also feature in the show as well. So join the Discord. It's the On Warren Cars Discord. Link is in the description. But that wraps up today. I can't really think of anything else I want to talk about. Yeah, 997, really good cars. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That wraps up today's show. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. with the M6. Have a great day. Yeah, take it easy. Be safe. Have a good one.